Hello, everybody, and welcome to our webinar. In today's session, we'll see all about your users and how to manage them in TalentLMS. But before we go through today's agenda together, let's start with some proper introductions. I'm Anastasia. I'm a senior customer onboarding specialist in TalentLMS, and I'll be hosting today's session with my dear colleague, Danny.
Hello, everyone. I'm Danny. I'm a customer success manager here at TalentLMS, and I'm very excited to host this webinar alongside Anastasia today. And we're going to be talking to you all about managing users. So very much looking forward to that.
Thank you, Danny. And since we made the proper introductions, let's see what we have prepared for you today. Today's first topic is how to bring your people to the platform. So we'll see this different sign up and registration methods in TalentLMS. That's how we can add users, but also how users can self-register. We'll also see how social media and single sign-on can help us with this task too, as well as some native integrations available in TalentLMS and the API. We'll continue discussing the user types, how we can customize them and assign them to our users. And we'll also share some tips and tricks on how to streamline your workflow, how to make your database as effective as possible. Now, before we move on here, just a reminder, this webinar is recorded and it will be sent to you all by email once it's over. So feel free to share it with anybody who wants to learn how to manage users like a pro. A live Q&A will be taking place during the session, so this webinar is your chance to ask any questions about TalentLMS. We have Yanis and Irini at the background. They will be answering all your questions, and some of them will also be answered by us live. So feel free to use the Q&A button in order to ask your questions. You can find it at your meeting controls on your screen. Now, in TalentLMS, we have three default roles, which will be the administrator, the instructor, and the learner. The administrators are responsible for every aspect of the system. They have access to all the system's courses. They can add and edit users, create categories and branches, and configure the system settings in general. The instructors manage the courses they have permissions to, and only those courses. They can add content and uses to them. They can also grade assignments and instructor-led training sessions related to those courses specifically. And lastly, the learners can just enjoy the courses you have created for them. And let's jump now into the platform. I hope you can all see my screen. I'm logged in as an administrator, as you can see, because we just mentioned that admins are the people responsible for the user base and the user database and the user management in general. For our first topic, for the first topic of our agenda, we will click on the account and settings and click on the dedicated users button. Now, here in the first section, the user creation section, we will find the sign up option. And in TalentLMS, we have two options to select from: the manually from admin option, which is also the default option, and the direct option. The manually from admin allows admins to add users in the system exclusively, and also admins will be responsible for sharing the credentials with the users. If you select the direct method, you will allow your users to sign up to the platform on their own. Users will also be able to click on the sign up link from the login page and then fill in their information in order to create their accounts. As you can see, once you select the direct method, a new drop-down menu will appear to select how users will verify their account. With the user verification, you add an extra validation when accounts are created from your users. We have different options. We have the CAPTCHA verification, where users will verify that they are humans and not robots. We have the email verification, where users will verify their email addresses before they access the platform. And the admin activation, where admins will receive an email with the user's details and an activation link. So they will be responsible to activate those accounts, and then the user will receive an email that their account is ready and they may access the platform. You can, of course, choose a combination CAPTCHA and email verification, or CAPTCHA and admin activation. Now I'm going to select for today the email verification, and I will go to the next option here where we can see that we can allow sign-ups through social media. Now, if the direct option is enabled, only then can your users sign up directly with their social media if you would like to enable this option. If we click here, we will find the options that we can enable. So let me just enable Google and LinkedIn. Go back and save. And now users will be, we have allowed our users to sign up through their social media accounts. And I would like also to show you what we have just created and how users can self-register in TalentLMS. So let me just bring this user tab, this browser tab here. This is our portal's landing page, our homepage, and here at the bottom, the top, apart from the login button, you will see that there is a sign up option, sign up button enabled. So if we click it, the users will be able to create an account by filling in their information in the mandatory fields, which will be the fields indicated with a red asterisk. So let me create my user for today. It would be Oscar Martinez. Yes. So need to add an email address. Of course, this will be a fake email address because we don't want to spam anybody. And as a username, I can use something simple or just use my email address. So I will never forget my username. I need to select a strong password. Yes. Oops. And okay, it went very quickly. I just click entered, and a pop-up message has appeared telling me that my account was successfully created. And now I will receive an email where I will have the confirmation link to complete my registration. However, I wanted to show you something else too. I wanted to show you the options of the sign up, the social media. So let me just click it once again. You've seen how we can, how user can self-register, but here at the bottom, we can also see the options that we enabled before. So they can sign up with Google or their LinkedIn accounts. And now let's see how admins can add users in the system. But for this, I'm going to need Danny's help. So Danny, would you like to share your screen and show us?
Absolutely. So let's jump into the platform as admins. So far, Anastasia has showed us how users can sign up by themselves. Let's see how admins can add users to the portal, first one by one, and then we're going to look at how we can do that as a massive upload. So to add users one by one, when logged in as an admin, we can either click on the quick actions button here and add user, or we can go to our users tab over here and then select add user. This will open up the form that we need to complete to register the new user to the platform. And as you can see, it contains the same kinds of fields we saw before. So in order to register a new user, we must complete a mandatory field, a first name, a last name, and an email. That must be completed. As we scroll down, we do have some additional fields here that you can complete if you wish. And of course, we must enter a username as well. If you do not select a password when creating a new user, that's okay. The system will automatically generate a strong password for the user. And just scrolling down here, you can also pay attention to this button here, which is also useful when registering users. Let's say that you want to register some users to the platform, but maybe you're not launching your platform for another month. You don't want your users to be logging in at this time. You just simply want to register them in the portal. If you uncheck this button here, this means that the user will be added in an inactive status. While inactive, your users cannot log into the platform, and this will give you ample time to continue working on it until you're ready for your users to log in. Your users will not be able to log into the platform until they are made active again. So you can click this button to make them active as well. So once you've done that, always remember to click Save, and that will add your user. And then you can repeat the same process to add your users one by one. But I'm going to show you now something that can save you a lot of time. How can we massively upload our users into the system? So to do that, we can go to our account and settings section over here, and we have our very own import-export functionality over here. Now, if this is your first time doing this, it can look a bit scary, but I promise you it's not that way at all. It's very simple, and we even give you a download sample Excel file to help you along the way. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So I'm going to open that up. And this is the sample Excel file that you can download from TalentLMS. And this is essentially your guide for different scenarios for importing users to the system. As you can see, we have different tabs displayed at the bottom here for different scenarios. We are by default on the users tab. So this is what we will need to import users into the system. Okay, I'll come back to this in a moment. You also have other tabs here for courses, branches, groups, categories, for example. Now, we're just working with users today, and I want to keep this as simple as possible. So what you can do is you'll need to delete the other tabs. So you can go ahead and delete them like so until you're left with just your users tab, this one over here. Now, looking at our users tab, it gives us a number of different values in here. We have across the top the login, the first name, the last name, and the email. To upload or mass import your users, you only need these 4 columns in your import file. That's all you need to do. We do also give you some additional columns. So again, through an import, you can also specify if these users will be active or not. You can also do things like add them to a branch and things like that, but it's not something we need to do right now. And each row is going to represent a different user as well. Now, to keep things very, very simple, I'm going to show you my import file that I prepared earlier that only contains the 4 columns we're going to need. So the login, this is the username of each user. We have the first name, the last name, and the email as well. And we're going to be mass uploading 5 users into the system. So let's go ahead and do that now. All we need to do once you've prepared the file is to either drag and drop or select the file to be uploaded. So I'm just going to do this here. And just like that, our 5 users have been imported successfully into the system. That's how easy it is to bulk upload your users. And the great thing is that the system will always tell you what's happened, what's the final result. So we can see all of the users have been imported successfully. If for any reason there was an issue with the import file, it's going to tell you in this box here what's gone wrong. So you can go back and check and amend if necessary. Now, how can we test if these users have actually been added to the system? There's a very easy way to do that. We can go straight to our users tab over here, and on the registration, we can filter this to the most recent registrations. And as you can see, we have Anastasia's user, Oscar Martinez, that was registered directly. And then we have the 5 users that have been imported through the import file. So this is a very nice way to save you a lot of time when registering your users to the platform, nice and easy through the import-export feature. My good colleagues in the background are also going to share with you now a very helpful article on how to work with the import feature. And with that, I'm going to hand the mic back to Anastasia because Anastasia, I think we have some more ways we can manage our user base.
Yes, 100%, Danny. Let me share once more. Okay, there we go. Just want to share my screen and let's see what else we got in TalentLMS if we want to bring our users into our platform. So as technology continues to evolve, managing multiple usernames and passwords for various applications can sometimes become overwhelming and time-consuming. That's why most of our customers use the single sign-on option available in TalentLMS. The single sign-on or SSO is a method of authentication that allows you to access multiple applications or services with just one set of login credentials. As you can see, I'm still in the account and settings and the users tab, and to find the option to enable single sign-on, we need to scroll a little bit further down. So in the login settings section, we will find the SSO option. So here we can click to enable SSO. And sometimes this can happen in live sessions. So let me just refresh. As I click enable, I should see a list with all the options of the SSO IDP providers. So let me do it once again. Find the single sign-on options, enable. And yes, this time I can see here a drop-down list where you can select your identity provider, your SSO identity provider. And for all those different types, now Yanis will post the respective articles from our knowledge base where you can find out more details and step-by-step guides to complete your integration. Now I will keep our OpenID Connect and save. Okay, we go. We haven't changed anything. And let me tell you why would somebody choose to use SSO. So if you decide to use SSO, you simplify the login process for your users. So you reduce the risk of password-related security incidents and improve overall user experience. When users are created using single sign-on, sign-up methods and email domain restrictions are not enforced. And one last thing we need to note here, and you need to remember if you use the single sign-on option, is that the username and email of the users should be exactly the same as the one they use with your IDP provider. Otherwise, the login will not be possible. Now, once again, I would like to bring this browser tab and show you what we have enabled. So I will now click the login button here, and the credentials box will come up. So users can either use their username and password to log into TalentLMS, or they can use the SSO option we just enabled. This is what it will enable them to access TalentLMS without any extra credentials. Here we go. And now, if you're wondering if there are more options to bring users to your TalentLMS platform, the answer is yes. And now we're going to focus on the different integrations that you can have with TalentLMS. And TalentLMS is a tool that really works well with your systems, and any tool that you want to have, like, for example, your HRIS or CRM tools, or generally your database. In fact, the integrations are built in a way that no more duplicating effort will be required from your end. And in order to check how we can integrate, for example, our HRIS tools, let me click in Account and Settings and find the Integrations button. So this is where we need to be. And the first integration I would like to focus on is the Bamboo HR integration, which is a very popular HRIS platform. And with TalentLMS, you can sync employee data and get the entire full employee profile instantly from one platform to the other. Your employees can see their courses in Bamboo HR, and they can see what assigned or completed training they have, and they can click on the link with Bamboo HR to navigate to the respective TalentLMS course. And at the same time, your other Bamboo HR administrators can see how your employees completed a training in TalentLMS. Now, let's see how we can integrate these two tools. We need to click, of course, to the Bamboo HR option and just enable it. Of course, we need to be both administrators in TalentLMS and Bamboo HR. Then we will need to add our subdomain of Bamboo HR. And here the connect button will appear so that you connect the two tools. And that would be it, easy. So what happens when the two systems are connected? They will automatically sync every 24 hours. And when that sync happens, the admins will receive an email that shows what has been synced in Bamboo HR. So essentially the users and the related data. And if you don't want to rely on that sync every 24 hours, once you have successfully synced the two platforms, another button will appear here, which you can manually sync, and that will allow you to, at any given point, to flow data from one system to the other. And what about this option, add new users as inactive? Well, by default, this option is unchecked. And if this option is unchecked, all users from Bamboo HR with an active status, work or home email, and a hard date in the past will be added to TalentLMS as active. Furthermore, inactive users in TalentLMS that match an eligible Bamboo HR user will be activated and synced. So if you don't want this to happen, you can enable this option, and the integration will add your Bamboo HR users as inactive in TalentLMS and prevent inactive users in TalentLMS from being activated by the Bamboo HR sync. You can manually activate or deactivate users in TalentLMS with this option enabled. Don't forget to save if you want this to happen in your Bamboo HR integration. And if you want to learn more about the Bamboo HR integration, now Yanis will post an article, a very detailed article on how to perform the integration and some other interesting stuff that you can find there. Now, like Bamboo HR, we also have our own HRIS tool. If we scroll further down, we will find the option of the Talent HR native integration. So if you have a Talent HR account, you can click here. An article will pop up on how to integrate the two tools. And you will, and if you want to know more, so if you don't know what Talent HR is and what subscription options are there available, you can visit our website, talenthr.io, which will now be shared in the chat, along with the article I've mentioned before. If you integrate Talent HR with TalentLMS, you can have a two-way integration. You can integrate from TalentLMS to Talent HR and vice versa, and you can choose one or both ways for the integration. Like with Bamboo HR, the two tools will sync every 24 hours, but you will also get a sync report. That is something that you can also manually sync on demand. And if you don't have Talent HR or Bamboo HR, there is another option that can help you connect with any other HRIS tool that you might be using. We need to scroll a little bit further up and find the API. So what is this? What is the API? The API actually is the way that TalentLMS connects with your own sites and with any other tool that you might be using. So you can use the TalentLMS REST library and have your site communicate and exchange data with a TalentLMS domain. If you're wondering if you can use the API yourself, well, if you know how to do it, brilliant. But if you don't, then your IT team or your system administrators or anyone setting up the software you use daily will be able to help you out. And you just need to click on the API option and enable this option. And an API key will come up, and this is what you need to share with your IT team. So they will use this key as the connector, with the two tools, and you can download here the API documentation in order to share it with them. So in the API documentation, there is a user section where they will find a lot of different API calls to go through. And the API calls is what's bringing the data from one platform to the other. You can find now in our chat the relevant article about how to integrate your website with the API. And also the API documentation can be found at the bottom of this article. And if you have more questions about the integrations and the API, you might, you can ask us, and you can also ask our support team, which is very easy to contact through your Help Center dedicated button here. You can click it. There is a contact support tab, so you can open a ticket and share with them your questions. And if your subscription allows it, you can also start a live chat conversation with them or call them. And with that said, I will pass the mic to Danny once more to continue with our agenda.
Thank you very much, Anastasia. So we've looked a lot at how we can manage users on TalentLMS. Now let's have a look at what they can actually do on the platform. And of course, I'm talking about the TalentLMS user types here. Now, at the start of the webinar, Anastasia briefly described the different roles that we have in the system. Let's see how those roles correspond to the user types that we have. From our account and settings over here, we have our dedicated user types section. And this is where we can see all of our user types that we have in the system. Now, by default, in TalentLMS, there are four user types that are displayed to us. We have the super admin, the admin type, the trainer type, and the learner type. So just a quick recap, the admins in TalentLMS, as mentioned before, are basically the operators of our platform. They have access to all of the reports. They can customize the portal and the branches. They're responsible for the user management, creating groups and branches, for example. They can also set up the users in the portal, as we saw before, and set up things like notifications and so on. Now, question, what's the difference between a super admin and an admin type? This is a really great question, and it's something that's very easy to answer as well. The main difference between a super admin and an admin is that the super admin is a user type that cannot be edited. Okay, the super admin can edit the permissions of the admins, trainer types and learner types in the system. However, the admin types cannot edit the permissions that the super admin has. In short, the super admins can bypass all of the restrictions in the platform. Now, moving on to the trainer type, the trainer types or the instructors are responsible for the courses and the course content. They also can create live sessions, initiate discussions, and evaluate their users through the reports that they have in the system. And of course, we have the learner types. Typically, the learner type is going to make up the majority of your user base in your TalentLMS portal. The learners are responsible for logging into the platform, completing any courses that have been assigned to them, and the learners can also check their own progress as well. Now, you might notice that we have a couple of extra user types here. If you have an admin type on the platform, you can definitely customize or add your own user types into the system. For example, let's say that you're working with external instructors and you want to create a user type that gives very limited permissions just for creating courses to these instructors. Maybe they don't have to even look at anything like reports or anything like that. Similarly, you might be working with many different branches in TalentLMS, and you might want to appoint a branch manager or a regional manager, for example, that has specific permissions to operate the branch, maybe adding some users, checking some reports, but maybe not so much involved with creating courses, for example. So this is something that you can also set up. When I talk about customizing the permissions in a user type, I'm talking about how we can turn on or off the different permissions that each user type has. To highlight that, I'm going to work with an existing user type. Let's go with the learner type and show you what that involves. So from a learner type, as we can see, the learner type does not have any of the administrator or the instructor permissions, which are currently unchecked. But as we scroll down, we can see the different types of permissions that the learners have. For this example, I'm going to disable the course catalog permissions and the discussions permissions by unchecking these boxes and saving the changes there. And that's all you need to do in order to update the user types. And a good way, a tip to follow up on this, if we go over to our users section over here and we find a learner type, if you are an admin, you can log in as this user and impersonate them on the platform. So you can see what the end result is for the learner. So let's take a look at this recently updated user type for the learners. If we log in as them, and here we can see what the learner is going to see. So from their menu, typically the course catalog would appear, but I have removed it from the permissions, therefore they cannot see this anymore. And at the top, they would typically have access here to the discussions, which are also removed. So this is a great practice. If you are creating user types, if you are updating your user types, you can always log in as that related user type to check what the end user is going to see, to make sure that everything has been set up correctly. And to navigate back to your account, your super admin account, for example, all we need to do is click on back to admin, and we are back to the original account there. So very easy how you can set these up. Now, another question, how do our users actually get their user types in the first place? Well, if you remember earlier, when I was adding users, there is a section here where we can assign the user type. And if you are an admin, this is your responsibility. If you are adding your users one by one to the system, you have this feature here. You have the user type where you can select and assign any of the user types that you have in your system already. Now, you might notice here that the learner type is actually selected by default, and there's a good reason for that. Within the system, in our account and settings section, if we go over to the users section in account and settings, we actually have a default user type that we can set up across our main domain. It can also be set up across branches as well. And this specifies what what the users are going to be given as their user type. So if you have users that are imported into the system, if you're doing a mass upload of users, to save time, the system will automatically give them the default user type that's been selected here. At the same time, if you have users that are signing up by themselves to the platform, with the default user type learner, the users will be automatically assigned the user type learner type when self-registering to the platform as well. Now, I would definitely recommend here that if you are doing a default user type, that you set it to the learner type, as it's quite a low level user type on the platform. You don't potentially want people self-registering as admins on your platform for security reasons as well. So a tip there, always nice to have the learner type set up, saves you time, and for security reasons as well. And talking of security, within account and settings, staying here, we have our dedicated security tab within that area of the platform, where you can add some more features here, some more settings to manage your users. The first one being the password change, so you can actually enable or enforce password changes after a certain amount of days, which you can specify. You can also lock accounts after failed attempts. Again, you can define after how many failed attempts and how many minutes the users will be locked out. And you also have various access restrictions as well. A common question that we have in TalentLMS is, can I make sure that my users only register using the corporate email, for example, no personal emails, nothing weird, no emails that were used on MySpace 17 years ago, for example. What you can do here is through this setting, you can enable this setting, and here you can determine which emails will be accepted when users are registering to the platform. And a couple more things to run through. You can also disallow multiple logins from the same user. So this prevents users from logging in to the same account from different browsers, potentially sharing accounts. And of course, you can, if it meets your needs, you can disallow access for your users from the mobile app in TalentLMS as well. My good colleagues in the background are going to share some more helpful guides, this time on how to work with user types and permissions in TalentLMS. And with that, Anastasia, I think it's time for us to share some tips and tricks. Do you have anything to perhaps show our audience today?
Yes, I do. I have a lot of tips and tricks. So let me share my screen. Right, so I hope everybody can see that screen. So let's start. My first tip for today for our audience will be about setting different sign-up methods for brands. So if you are on a plan that supports branches, and when we say branches, we mean the independent training environments where you can have your admins, your instructors, and learners interact only with content restricted to their brands. Essentially, a brand is a subdomain of your main domain. And because of that, you may want people in the brands to behave differently from your main domain. So why not sign up in a different way too? We said that the default option for our main domain was the manually, so sign up manually from an admin. And let's have a look in the branches. So let's click on the branches, and I have various branches here. So I'm going to edit one of them. In the info tab, where you set up you configure the settings of your brands, you will find the relevant sign up option. So under the user section, here is where you can select the sign up method for your brands. Now, the default user option, sign up option for the main domain is manually from admin. For the brands will be the direct method. So if you're using brands, just make sure that you have selected the correct sign up option. So if you do so, don't forget you need to select direct, but also a user verification in order for the logins, for the user accounts to be verified before created. So after created, sorry. And make sure to go back and save. And let me jump into my next tip with a question. So have you ever had any information that you would like to add on the user profiles and you were wishing there was a field for it? Danny showed us before that the mandatory fields to create the user profile is the first name, last name, email address, username, and the password. So maybe you would like to add some more fields there, and yes, you can. We need to go to account and settings and the users once more and scroll all the way down here in order to find the custom user fields. So with the custom fields here, you can create whatever type of information field you need. And the custom fields will also help you filter your options in custom reports. And you can also use them in your notifications and certifications. So you can just add exactly the information you want for your users. So in order to create them, just click Add Field, type the name of the field you would like to appear in the user profiles, the type of so how you would like the users to fill in the information there. You have some various options to choose from, and you can make them mandatory if you would like to make your users give you this information. Visible on reports to use them, as I mentioned before, in custom reports and other type of reports. And if you're using branches, you can also select availability. So create a custom user field only for a specific brand or only for your main domain, and the custom field will not appear in your branches. An extra tip here: if you integrate with your HRIS system, there are specific fields that you would like to transfer over this information in TalentLMS, for example, as we see here, manager's position or the department or an employee's hire date. So you can create the corresponding custom fields exactly with the formatting that you have in your HRIS system. And then when the two systems sync, the corresponding information will be transferred. And now talking about the user profiles, I would like to show you how you can exclude users from emails and also deactivate them at a specific date. So let me go to my users list and just edit Abby here. So if we scroll further down, we saw before the active option, we can also enable the deactivate at a specific date if you would like to deactivate this user on a specific date, and also exclude from all essential emails and notifications so that they will not receive any automated information, system information. And you can also use you can also add this information to deactivate a specific date and exclude from all essential emails and notifications in the import file that Danny showed us before. And let me go to my last tip for today, the language overrides. TalentLMS lets you use your preferred alternatives for words or phrases across your portal and according to your needs. And let's see what I mean with an example. So I will bring forward, once again, the browser tab here. And let me remind you of the login credentials box here. So before we saw how the option to log in with SSO will appear here. So maybe the login with the OpenID Connect will not be very clear for your users. So if you want to change this phrase, this text, you can do it. So let me show you how. From account and settings, once again, users, we're talking about users today, so we're using this tab a lot. You will find the language overrides here. And this is where you can add an override. You can type the original text. So what was appearing in the previous screen was this text. And the text that you would like to change it with, right? So to override it. If you save, so your override has been added. And now if I bring once more my browser tab here, and I didn't need to refresh at all. You see that the text has changed. So it says login with SSO, so that users will find it easier to log in with SSO according to your instructions. And that would be from my end today, but I sense that Danny has more tips and tricks to share with us. So Danny?
Absolutely. So let's go straight in. And we're back. So first tip for you today, we mentioned the import export feature earlier. We talked about the import, but we didn't talk about the export. So this is a good time to bring this up. If we go down to the export section here, TalentLMS actually allows you to export your data as well. This is a great way to back up your user data from the system, and definitely would recommend doing this from time to time so you have the backups, you have all the data on record. And you can do that through an Excel export type or through a CSV, and you simply click on export. To save us some time, I actually did in the background an export, and as you can see from my export file, we have all of the data from our user base. This includes all of the import columns we saw earlier, the usernames, the first names, last names, emails. You get the user type of each user. You've got things like the status, which indicates if the users are currently active or inactive, for example. You've got also, of course, your custom fields, which Anastasia mentioned earlier. So you have all of this information that can be, at the click of a button, exported from your portal. And another tip on top of that, if you are working a lot with the import feature, and if you're getting tired of building from scratch, different import files, why not use part of the export file at least to help you to build some import files? It has the same columns as you can see here that you need. And of course, if you want to add anything extra, like the custom fields, for example, you have all the information there. So if you want to go and add any users to this and then use it as an import, you can do that. But very important to note, when using this as an import, always make sure to check that your columns are correct. They need to be completely correct as they appear in TalentLMS for the import to work. So 2 quick tips there on backing up and using this as a sample to be able to build some data to feed into TalentLMS as well. Now, something else before we move on to the Q&A very, very quickly. If we head over to notifications over here, earlier, Anastasia mentioned that when users are added manually via admins, it's up to the admins to share the credentials with those users, the username and the password, for example. Now, TalentLMS can take care of this for you and save you a lot of time, so you don't need to worry about sending off emails yourself. From notifications, we actually have one set up already on user creation when users are added by the admin, either one by one or through an import. You can set up a notification to be triggered to the users. As you can see here, the event is when the users are created. You have in here the related users, which will be the users that are being created, for example. So each new user is going to receive the following message. If you've worked with notifications before in TalentLMS, you'll know that you can modify the message body to include all of the critical information that you need. And this is made even easier with the smart tags. So you can use smart tags in your email body. So for example, we've got the site name, we've got the first name added, of course, we've got the username and password and the site URL so that the user gets all of the information that they need with this notification. Once it's set up, It's going to be sent out to all of your users. And for specific notifications, such as this one, you can also make them branch specific. If you click here on the filter by, you can create specific notifications for different branches. For example, let's say you're working with a Spanish branch. You can set a notification up specifically for that branch. You might want to include something in Spanish here, or if you're working with different customers or clients, you might want to personalize this a bit for them as well. So this is a way that you can make sure that when you're adding your users to the system, that they get their credentials as well. And with that, Anastasia, I think it's about time that we dive into the Q&A. And actually, I'd like to
Definitely.
begin, if that's okay.
Yes, of course. Go on.
Because we actually have a question here from John, which is related to what I've just shown you about the notifications here. John's asking, I want my admins to know the details of each user who is signing up on their own to the system. Is that possible? Well, John, that is very possible. What you can do is you can create a notification here, and let's just call this test for now. And the event, we can set it to on user sign up. So when users are registering to the platform by themselves, you can then set this up, and you can select who is going to be notified when a new user signs up to the platform. This can be the account owners, super admins, branch admins. You can even add your own specific recipients in there as well. Let's make this the super admins. And of course, again, the same thing applies. You can, in the message body, you can create the message that's going to be sent out to the super admins. And again, you can also include details of the user's emails, name, for example, this kind of thing, so that you make sure that everyone is notified when a new user is signing up as well. So I hope that helps, John. I'm just looking now if we have any more questions in the chat. We do actually have another one from Erica, which I'm very happy to answer. So Erica is asking us, can I customize the columns that appear in the user list? So just to sort of cover that a little bit, if we go over to our user list over here, we can see that we have some columns that are set up by default in the system. Okay, we can actually change, it is possible to change the way that the users appear in this column over here. At the moment, as you can see, my users are displayed with first name and a last name. So what if I want to change this? What I can do is I can go over to my account and settings, and in my portal settings, if I go down to this section here, we have something called the visible user format. And what this does, essentially, it allows us to determine how our users are going to be displayed. So at the moment, as you can see here, I've got first name and last name displayed in the system. And you have a variety of different options. You can have the initial of the first name and the last name. You can have the first name and their initial surname, last name as well over there, and first name initial displayed this way, or last name first name, or even displayed by username as well. So you can choose how this appears within the system, and of course always make sure to hit save as you go, as you update this as well. Now, we have another question here from Violet. Violet is asking about the active user limits when a user limit is reached on the platform. How will that affect the sign up buttons that we added earlier on? Well, if you do reach the sign up, if you do reach, sorry, your limit of users on the platform, the option to sign up directly, the sign up button, will no longer appear on your login page, and it will also disappear from your branch as well. So that will ensure that once your limit is reached, no further users will be able to log into the platform over there as well. Okay, so I'm just going to just double check the Q&A, see if we have any other things.
I think if you want, you can answer one more question, or I can go ahead because I have some interesting questions here.
Sure. Anastasia, if you'd like to jump in, that'd be great.
Yeah, so I have just seen a very interesting question in our chat. So Surag asked how to customize the welcome field and also explains a little bit further. So if the portal name is academy.companyname.com, the welcome page now has TalentLMS picture and a featured course. How to change this image and featured course. From what I understand, and please write in the chat if I didn't get this correctly, you mean this, right? So the logo, and of course our TalentLMS courses that you will, like the default courses that you will get as soon as you create a new account. And yeah, the name of your site. So all these, you can make any customization and branding you want for your portal from account and settings, but this time the portal tab, right? So this is what the name of the site that will appear in the search engines. It is not the domain. The domain, you can change it from here if you need. And about the branding of your site, this is how you can upload and change the TalentLMS logo. And also you see the little image. This is the favicon. You can also upload an image to change it here.
Anastasia, sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
Can you share the screen? I'm not sure
Oh,
our
thank
audience
you,
are seeing
Danny.
this at home.
Yes, thank you, Danny. You saved me. So I was saying that probably our user is talking about this image, and to customize anything you want in TalentLMS, you need to go to account and settings and your portal tab. So the first step here, any customizations will about the name of the site will happen here. And this is your domain name, and any branding. So the appearance of your domain will happen here. This is where you can upload your logo to change this image, your favicon that will change this little image here. You can also customize the theme, so change the different colors. And as soon as you create a new course, there is an image with a smile, TalentLMS smile, that will appear as a thumbnail of your course. You can also upload your own branded image in order to appear as soon as you create a new course. And of course, for in your course list, for the default TalentLMS courses, if you want to not have them visible in your course catalog, let me show you that you can just select them and hide from course catalog if you don't want to delete them, because I think they're really useful. So just don't hide them from the course catalog so that your users will not see them, but just have a look at them. So I hope I've answered your questions, Surag, and let me jump into a very interesting questions coming from Bill, and I think this might have happened to a lot of people. So Bill is writing here that I have already used the import that Danny showed before to massively upload my users to the platform. And I hadn't noticed that the notifications were disabled at the time. So if the notifications are disabled, they're not active, they will not be triggered. And now Bill is asking if he can trigger now the notifications somehow without, of course, deleting the users and not adding them once again to the platform. This is a great question and a great point here. So if we didn't, so if the notifications were not triggered, one way would be to permanently delete all the users and add them once again so that you have activated the notifications and triggered them. But we have a workaround here. So what you can do, Bill, is create a group here. You will just create a group where you will add no courses, but you will add the users that you have haven't received the welcome email notification. Before you add the users, you would now want to go and create a different type of notification. So you can, of course, copy paste the message. So here, welcome to the site, right? So you can copy paste the message, but this time you would need to add a different type of event, right? So we will use the event on group assignment. This would mean that as soon as you add them to the group that you have created, then a notification will be sent out. The recipient would be the related user, and here you can paste the message to send the welcome email to the users. So this is a different workaround. I think it will save you a lot of time, and just give it a try and let us know if it helped you. And I think we don't have time for, no, we have time for one more question. Let me see. Okay, so good question coming from Julia. This would be our last question. So Julia says that she uses Branches since she is a Pro Plan subscription, and she was wondering if she can have a user who will act as an admin in the main portal, but as a learner in one of the branches. I'm so sorry, that would be a no. So the users cannot have a different user type inside the branch and in the main domain. It would be the user type that you assign to the user. This will follow them along in the different branches and of course in the main domain. However, if an admin would like to act as a learner inside the course, this can happen. This is different from the user type. This will be the role. So if, for example, we have added an admin in a course and we would like them to complete the course instead of edit it, then the only thing we need to do is just, we don't have any admins here. Sorry, let me just go to one of my courses. That would be, okay. Okay, I'm not very, okay. So here, let me just open this course. And for example, if I would like to complete the course and not edit it as an instructor, then here we can change the role for that user to learner. The user type will remain the same, but they will act as learners inside the course, so they will not be able to edit it anymore, and they will just need to complete it. And I think with that said, it would be a wrap. Do you have any other question you would like to answer, Danny?
Anastasia, I can do one very, very quickly. That comes
Okay.
from Mary. If we have some time, I'll share my screen.
We have 1 minute, so
Okay.
be quick.
Okay, I'll be very, very quick. If I can share my screen.
Yes.
Okay, so Mary asked, what's the difference between deleting and deactivating users? As an admin, I can go to the reports and I have my timeline open over here. And to save us a bit of time, I actually did something in the background before. So I deleted a user and I deactivated a user. As you can see, when you delete a user, you have the option to permanently delete them or undo the delete. So you have time. If you delete by mistake, you can reverse this. However, keep in mind, once you permanently delete a user, they're gone from your system completely along with their progress as well. If you deactivate a user, they remain in your system. They're essentially archived, okay? And it's what I was mentioning earlier. They're not able to log into the system until they're made active again. And at the same time, they won't count towards your overall seat limit as well. That's a very, very quick overview of deactivated users versus deleted users. And this is how you can check this through your timeline as well. Mary, that was a very quick answer. I hope that covered what you were asking. And Anastasia, I think it's time that we wrap up.
Thank you, Danny. You were indeed very quick, so thank you for that. It's a wrap, people. So thank you all for joining today. I'm sure that there will be more questions on the features we discussed. And so don't hesitate to send us an email to onboarding@talentlms.com. And of course, we're very excited to see your comments about our webinar. So feel free to do so by following the link posted in the chat right now. Again, thank you all for joining. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Rini. Thank you, Yanni, in the background.
Thank you all for joining.
And until next time, happy training.
Bye-bye.